if you look at domestic abuse in general, most researchers, therapists, counselors agree that most abuse inside of a relationship happens bidirectionally. Of course, yeah, one partner can be more abusive than the other, but it's almost, I think it's, like 58% of the time, if not more, it's both partners abusing each other. So just based off of kind of common sense and, abuse patterns, this is a really messy relationship. And, I don't think anybody can really be like, oh, we're all for one or the other. It's a little insane.
Yeah, I think it's also indicative of a larger shift that happened in the past in society and that's now shifting towards the other way, kind of the same way that this trial went, and that is the whole Me Too movement.
Right.
When all this first started coming out about these things that are happening in Hollywood and women are being mistreated, obviously some terrible things going on and things that no one would ever condone. No one who's, got any sense of moral compass would condone any of those things. But I think that the danger is we swung so far at that point that it was believe all women. Every woman who makes an accusation against a man, it must be true, and guilty until proven innocent, all this stuff. And then you kind of see the consequences of that. You see that women in that case have too much power in the sense that they can make up an allegation against anyone and they can be taken completely seriously and they can ruin that person's career. And that's not good either. We don't want that either. So I think that we keep seeing this shift one way and then shift the other way. Hopefully we're going towards a place where it'll be a little bit back towards what we want the justice system to be, which is we hear an accusation, we assume innocence, but we go to trial and we see what the evidence leads us to find. And I think that is the way that the justice system should be in America. This way it's supposed to be in America. Unfortunately, it's swung back and forth away from that, but I'm hoping that maybe we're getting a little bit more towards that traditional style.
Right. So I think this is just, we see this trial, obviously this is, the big headlines right now, but it's just kind of the symptom of the Me Too movement, because I think the whole movement just kind of turned the American justice principle of innocent till proven guilty completely on its head. Of now, especially for men, you are guilty until proven innocent. And I think that actually the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case is like a perfect example of that, even though I'm not fully on the side of either one of them. And I shouldn't have to be. I shouldn't have to take a side.
You shouldn't have to be picking whose side
I just want to note that. But regardless of that, I mean, there is definitely the idea of, Johnny Depp as being the one accused and being the male in the relationship, is the one having to do the legwork to provide a lot of evidence to prove that maybe I was abused too. Maybe this hurt my career too. Whereas in 2016, when they first divorced, Amber Heard gave almost no evidence of abuse. She just claimed that she was abused. And then just like that, a judge gave her a restraining order against Johnny Depp. They settled the divorce for $7 million, which she got, of course. And so, sure, maybe she was abused. Maybe she did deserve all of that. But there was no real legwork of like, okay, well, here, let's prove it. Whereas Johnny Depp now is having to do all the legwork of, you have to prove you were abused.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit murkier in this particular case because he's suing her for defamation. And so I understand to some extent why he would have to present, the evidence. But like you said, in that initial case, I don't think she ever sued him for domestic abuse. She just divorced him. Is that right?
Yeah, divorced him and made him pay more in the divorce settlement. She kept upping it.
So I think that and then just a lot of the cases that you see where a woman, whether it's a woman in Hollywood or even just, in colleges, we see it a lot. A woman accuses a man of doing something to her that is inappropriate. And it should be that the burden of proof is on that woman to say, this is the evidence that proves that this happened. Instead, somehow it's become that the burden of proof is on the man to prove that he didn't do that, which is not how it's supposed to work at all.
Right.